Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cover 4 podcast after last week's ball games. And my partner out in Provo, Randy Gibson, he ain't wearing crimson and cream. He's wearing navy blue and white because BYU did a big upset during their whiteout game Saturday night.
Huge upset, Jim. Man, I'll tell you, I was in Oklahoma for the Oklahoma-Tennessee game, but I was getting updated text messages while we were on the air from the family out here, and they were keeping me updated. I've said before, strange things happen in Provo at night in a football game, and this last Saturday night, Kansas State got a little taste of some of that strange stuff that happens out here. Total shock. They just totally annihilated Kansas State.
Yeah, 38-9 was the final. Can we say that things in Provo are about like a Louisiana Saturday night at Tiger Stadium?
Yes, I think you can, especially a night game out here, and especially when it's a whiteout game. It was, from what I heard, Terry said she was here at the house and with the window open, and she could hear the crowd all the way up the hill. That's how loud they were. So I know they were getting after it down the hill there.
I saw where Cosmo benched. He had his weights.
Yeah.
And the weights were on fire.
Yep.
He does a backflip, and then they fired the fire extinguishers to put out the fire. I mean, this guy is something else.
He is so fun to watch. I'll tell you, you never know what that guy's going to do. He is extremely. In fact, honestly, he's my favorite mascot, I think, in all of college football to watch.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Well, let's talk about your game on Saturday. You're working for media. You were up in the infamous seventh deck with the in the sardine can, as we were a few years ago for West Virginia. Good ball game. I watched the ball game. It was on ABC, so that meant the A team was there. That meant
they were
Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, which he was there for game day.
He was.
And
saw your
the chief happiness officer. That is Ben.
Ben, I was going to say, Ben was at the 50-yard line before kickoff with wearing his all access pass.
Yes.
And he got delivered to game day in a private golf cart.
Yes.
With an escort.
Yes. He is quite the celeb. He goes with Kirk every week. It really just for companionship. And he is a beautiful golden retriever. He's 10 years old.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He doesn't act like it.
No, he don't. He has a lot of fun, and the fans love him.
Yes, and the fans in Oklahoma loved him too. And I will tell you, I was sitting up there in the box with my binoculars watching him. He was just having a great time down there on the field with everybody around.
Yep.
He just made himself right at home.
Oh yeah, he does. And the fans, the cheerleaders, the band, they all loved him.
Yep. Fantastic. Talking about the game, it was, other than the outcome of the game and the Sooner offense, it was a fantastic day and night.
Yes, it
just
sure
all the
was.
way around. Just the fun. Tennessee fans came out in droves. They were so great to be with throughout the day. and just visit with and talk to. They were a lot of fun. They really
Uh,
were.
did you see the band uniform for the Pride of the Southland?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they come in, they had brought a pet band of about 70 players. They no woodwinds, they were all
Yes,
brass and percussion. Um, but they were in full uniform
yes,
for
and
their pet band.
that right there, that was the told you last week. Uh, take that uniform and instead of the single T, uh, you put that new double T that Tahlequah's got.
Mm-hmm.
Then the drum major, uh, on the back of his uniform, it says Tennessee. Put Tahlequah on there.
Mm-hmm.
Think about
You'd,
that one for a little bit.
you would have an old style Tahlequah Tiger band uniform. They kind of
Yeah.
used to resemble that a little bit back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be a throwback. Might
Would.
be an idea where, uh, you know, get them and have them as a uh, an alternate
Mm-hmm.
uniform.
That'd be fun.
That would be, like uh, for homecoming,
Mm-hmm.
homecoming and senior night.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yep.
Um, no, going back, talking about the game. Um, Great welcome back for Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel, former Sooner
Mm-hmm.
player. Before I mentioned this to you earlier off the air, before the game, they had him down there walking around with his team and had him on the big jumbotron with a picture of him up on the other side of the jumbotron uh, after the Orange Bowl when they won the national championship
Mm-hmm.
in his Sooner jersey, and getting carried off the field by his teammates.
Yes.
Um, and had, welcome back, Josh Heupel, 2000 national champion, 2000 player of the year, 2000, whatever all he was. And
Yes.
it was a, it was really a good tribute, I think. I think OU went all out and did all they could for him.
Yeah. That was, and we talked about it. He said in the press conference after the game, uh, not getting the job, getting let go, him and Jay Norvell,
Hmm.
getting let go, that might have been the best thing ever happened to him.
He did. He said that. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but in the locker room,
Yes, I
after
saw.
the game. Did you
Yes,
see that? He got a little choked up and
he
emotional
he really did,
about it.
and he was when the game was over. Nico, their quarterback, uh, came up to him and gave him the game ball.
Yep, he sure did. He sure
Mhm.
did. And in the locker room, he was holding that ball too.
Yes, he sure was.
Yeah. I thought that was great of his
Hmm.
players to do that for him. It would have had to have been a little emotional for him to have been back in Norman.
Yes, you
And
know it was.
yeah, and I'm just really happy for him. The Tennessee fans I talked to before the game, I said, "Hey, the vast majority of Sooner fans are for Josh, and they pull for Tennessee unless they're playing us."
Right.
And I told several fans before the game, I said, "I hope you guys only lose one game all year, and it's tonight."
Mm.
And after the game, I said, "I hope you guys win the rest of them."
Yeah,
And we love Josh, and I hope you guys go all the way.
they have an appointment in Fayetteville next week against the Razorbacks, who beat Auburn, who uh, OU's got
Yep,
this week, and they've got to go to the Plains. And the Tigers are not very happy with the way they played. They
they didn't
lost
play good at
24
all.
to 15. They turned the ball over 5 times, three of them inside the Arkansas 30.
Hmm.
And I mean, it was 7-0 at half. And Arkansas wins it 24-14. And uh, Hugh Freeze was talking about it. And the Arkansas people were, and a lot of other people were ripping him because it's like, what ball game did you look at on the film? Uh, he thought, they could play Arkansas 9 more times and beat them 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
I have, in the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Uh, Arkansas is better than what everybody's thinking.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Uh, they're using three running backs right now. They uh, had a fourth, but Rashawn DeBinion, who was playing, uh, he winds up in the doghouse. He has been not only suspended, but he's
Mm.
been suspended indefinitely for violation of team rules.
Oh man,
What
that's gonna
that's
hurt.
all about. But Sam came out with that yesterday, uh, before the presser ever started. That was the first
Wow.
thing he led off with, uh,
Wow.
before he made his opening statement. Is that DeBinion had been suspended from the team, and it's indefinite. So I
Wow.
would be surprised that uh, his stuff might be in the equipment room, and he may be done.
Mm.
So
That would hurt. That's too bad.
yeah, but they've got three good running backs, and along with the quarterback Taylor Green. I mean, uh, the touchdown they had, he rolled to his left, got away from the rush. He's at the Arkansas 35, throws it 60 yards downfield to Isaiah Satania, and he's only 5'11",
Hmm.
and the free safety for Auburn got mossed. He leaped up, got it uh, over this guy's shoulder, and took two steps, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow.
And that made it 14-zip at that time. And Arkansas won 24-14. They've got an appointment with the Aggies of Texas A&M. Final time it will be played at Jerry's World. 2:30 kickoff, and that game is going to be on ESPN at 2:30 Saturday.
Be a
So
good one. Be a fun one to
it'll be a
watch.
very good ball game. It always is.
Yeah.
Uh, and Sam's got the only win in this series down there. I mean, uh, John L. Smith, who was an interim coach, uh, Chad Morris, and Brett Bielema, all of them never won a game at Jerry's.
Hmm.
And Sam's the only one who's gotten a win outside of the guy who's now his offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino.
Hmm.
And if he wins that one, they'll be 2-0 going into the game against Tennessee, which will be a 6 or 6:30 kickoff. They announced that yesterday. So that means 6 o'clock it's ESPN, 6:30 it's ABC. If it's ABC, then good chance you see the A team calling the game there next Saturday night,
Wow.
which that would mean uh, Kevin Trainer, the sports information director at Arkansas, would have to get that all access pass for our
For
four-legged
Ben.
and Ben.
That's right. That's
And I
right.
would venture to say, not only would he be on the field at the 50-yard line, but he'd be up coming up to the press box,
I'm sure.
and he would stay behind the curtain that's
Yep.
there on the TV side. But Arkansas, they're 3-1, probably should be 4-0. Should have not let that game get away from them against OSU. Speaking about OSU, they laid an egg
Oh man, did
against
they ever
against,
against
against
Utah
Utah.
with a second string backup quarterback?
Nearly got him. He did get him back in the game, but
Yeah.
it was too little, too late.
Uh, for Utah's quarterback, of course, Cam Rising, he made the trip, went down on the field for warmups, had an interesting conversation before kickoff with Cale Gundy, former OU player and
Mhm.
former OU coach, uh, younger brother of Mike Gundy.
Right.
Um, Mike, Cale's son, uh, helps out with his uncle Mike up in Stillwater, and
Mhm.
Cale's son and brother both were texting Cale. He told me while we were sitting at lunch and said they're telling me Cam's throwing, but he's got a glove on his hand. They don't think he's going to play. They don't think he's going to start.
Mhm. And
And
he
and
didn't
it,
even he
and he
didn't even
didn't.
make a snap.
Nope, not even one. But so that was kind of a
Listen,
conversation before the game. But I thought it was interesting that Kyle Whittingham, Utah coach, took him on the trip and suited him up, and just maybe I guess he thought, well, if we need him to go in, we'll have him.
yeah,
But they didn't. Like you said, OSU totally fell apart.
yeah. Uh, Speaking about Whittingham and Gundy,
Yeah,
who are the two coaches that have been at their place at least 20 years? Both of them. And they're the last ones since I
hmm.
saw it was Bowden and somebody else
Hmm.
when they faced each other uh, back in like '06.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while ago. I
How
saw
long
that
has
graphic.
how long
Uh,
has Gundy been at OSU now?
he's been there 20.
20 years, really. It's 20 years this year.
I think so. And well,
Wow.
take a look, see when Les left.
Yeah. Been about 2003
3.
or 4. Yeah.
Well, let's look. Let's go to our friend and see what it does say. OSU football coaches, Gundy. Well, he would be the dean of coaches, because Utah just comes into the league this year.
Right.
Uh, let's see. Uh, well, I can find it here. Started off the season, he won 166 games at
Hmm.
OSU because that's the only place he's been a head coach. Let's see.
Yeah, it is.
So I can get to his records here, which his bio is long, to say the least.
I imagine so. 20 years worth.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where his records, playing days, third OSU graduate to assume the head coaching job. Jim Lookabaugh and Floyd Gass were the other two. Uh, he spent one season at Baylor in '96 as quarterback coach. Before heading to the ACC, coached at Maryland '97 to 2000, returned in '01, and then I would almost venture to say it'd be 03, I would venture to say.
I would assume that would be about right.
Yeah. So
Maybe 04. It
oh
might be
three,
oh
oh
four.
four, somewhere in that neighborhood. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But now Oklahoma State, after dropping that one, they get to go to the Little Apple and face that team that BYU crushed. They got K State.
They're not going to be happy up there in Manhattan, are they?
No, and that's the 11 o'clock ESPN game. So that'll be right after game day.
Yeah.
So then OU, like I said, Auburn, 2:30. That's going to be the ABC game at 2:30. And then Tulsa was the only state school to win. They kicked a field goal with a minute to go in regulation to tie it, then kicked a 34-yard field goal after stopping Louisiana Tech, and they defeated the Bulldogs 23-20 in overtime.
Hmm.
And now they get to go down to Denton and take on North Texas. That is a 6 o'clock game, and you have to see that one on ESPN Plus. That'll be digital. And next week's game at TU is a military appreciation game. You want to know
Okay.
why?
Why?
They play the Black Knights of Army.
Oh, of Army. Well, that'll
Yes.
be a fun game.
And,
I always
and,
enjoy watching Army because they've got that old style wishbone they run a lot.
and first year Army is a member of the AAC, the
Hmm.
American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had switched.
Yeah. Well, they had been independent.
Right.
So now they are a member of the AAC.
Interesting.
So, in fact, the first 2,500 fans will get the flag uh, cap, uh, Tulsa across the front, just like the flag letter in the lettering,
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa. And I would venture to say that that will be the helmet sticker on the helmets. And so they may wear white helmets this next week. They'll still wear their goals this week, but they'll go
Interesting.
white uh, with their royal blue, or even they do have their throwbacks, which are red and white with the gold pants. So they may go that route.
That'd
Uh,
be interesting.
yeah, the red goes all the way back to the mid '60s. We're talking Billy Joe Anderson, Jerry Rome, two quarterbacks at TU,
Mm-hmm.
and a wide receiver by the name of Howard Twilley.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the could be what happens next week at Skilly Stadium, and that will be an ESPNU game. So it'll be televised next week
Interesting.
on uh, DirecTV 208. Will be where you can see that. Northeastern, the Redmen are they lost at Fort Hays. They got beat 37-0 by the Tigers. Uh, but then they got to play Missouri Southern, who also got shut out by Northwest Missouri last week. And they're going to play that game Saturday at Memorial Stadium in Broken Arrow. So give our Tulsa alumni a chance to see the Redmen play close to Tulsa, and that's we've played up there before several years ago, so it's not new for Northeastern to play a game up there.
Uh-huh.
So then they'll be back home as far as back here at Gable Field. They will be, as soon as I pull it up. Let's see, they are. Oops, wrong button. There we go. We'll play the next one here at home. Well, they got to go to Emporia next week. Then take on the Blue Tigers of Lincoln, Missouri, who just dropped out of the MIAA, now a member of the Great Lakes Valley Conference, and that'll be a 6 o'clock game. And then the annual game for the President's Cup against UCO the 19th. Trying to find where homecoming's at. Okay, homecoming is the 26th. So we got 3 in a row at home after they play at Broken Arrow and also at Emporia. So they got 3 straight coming up here. So hopefully they can find the win column Saturday, be nice. So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully they can. That would be great if they could.
Yep. Well, it is now time for high school football to get down to cases. It's district time.
Yeah. So, already came fast, didn't it?
Yep. The Tigers will take on Claremore at Lanto Field in Claremore come Friday night. And that'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. And we're going to speed this up a little bit because I just heard some thunder and I'm looking at, yeah, it's 2 miles away. So let me run through everything real quick before I got to unplug everything.
All right.
Tigers at Claremore. They'll be home next week against Pryor. Sequoia defeated Keys 36-6. They are home. They'll take on Chandler on Friday night to open up their district. Keys has to go to Little Kansas to take on the Comets, and the Hulbert Riders, who lost to Westfield 30-26. They are hosting the Hartshorn Miners in the district opener come Friday night over at Ryder Field. And I'm going to shut this thing down because looking at WeatherBug, that last lightning strike was 2.6 miles away. So we're going to wrap up the podcast for this week, and I'll be over in Fayetteville. In fact, I'll be in Fayetteville Sunday working for ESPN. It's Arkansas women's soccer against South Carolina. That'll be on ESPNU at 1. The other thing I'm doing, I'll be over at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. That's the LPGA tournament. You can see that on Golf Channel Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers. That's going to do it for this week's podcast. For my partner, Randy Gibson, I'm Jim Trickett. We'll talk to you next week on the Cover 4 podcast.